Okay, mate. So a very good question. Maybe not easy to know for sure, but let's look into it. Yeah, you're holding since dollar. You'd like to hold it to the end, hold it to the death if you could hold it to a further pump in the next year. Well, what it is suggesting in the meantime, in the near term at least, well, you can see sentiment. Sentiment is dropping here, but of course, you had drops here, and then you continued to consolidate before it built back up, and the buyers came back in and ramped up again. So, near term, it is suggesting it's done. Could there be bounces back up here? Yes. But it is suggesting near term the bounces may be failures. But what I will say is, though, this is still pretty strong. This is your kind of larger time frame. Now, I don't know if you've looked at it, this is 1,000, which kind of offers a longer term view. Now, I'm offering a longer term view on a 10-minute chart, which is still a kind of a small time frame. Now, you can see it's ramping up and ramping up. We're still very strong and moving up, but when it's at the very peak, it is hard to distinguish unless you go to the smaller time frames. Like I'm on the 1 hour chart, but you can see there is a drop here, meaning that there may be, well, it is dropping in price here as well. So it's dropping in price and here. I was going to say it might be a bearish divergence, but there is early signs of some sort of drop. But look at the move on this thing. If you bought XRP down here when this, maybe you did buy it down here on this, yeah, that's 59 cents. It started to flip green, but when it starts flipping green on all 5 of these, on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, you can get these huge rallies. The sentiment all comes behind it. The FOMO kicks in. Sorry, I didn't look at that percentage. I drew it there and I didn't look at it. 346. So it's. I'm not saying it's definitely done yet, but you've seen the chart that I posted. Well, I just changed charts here from the futures chart to this. I'm sure this will be important in due course. There is a worry that when you pierce outside major trend lines like this, it can be a major top. Like you see here, you get three pumps, and then you actually did dump right back down. That was the Coinbase delisting, and then eventually it moved higher again. Let's go to the yearly. Let's just go to this chart. So the thing is, it is December, right? And this is a very strong year. We have 28 days left. That is the worry. That is the massive worry, that what if they come in and dump it like this, right? If this holds strong into the end of the year because of the ETF listing. Now there is a spot ETF listing of XRP. So they won't know the news until the next year if it's approved or not. So in theory, this should not dump, but we don't know for sure, right? If you're willing to take the gamble, because over Christmas they're not going to have any news on the ETFs and stuff, meaning that limits the time down to maybe 3 weeks. So instead of 4 weeks, maybe it's only 3 weeks, and then they're going to be off at the very start of the year. They're not going to come back for a period. So if institutions are willing to hold for the ETF, potentially, well, then the theory is that maybe it won't dump. But this, to me, looks like a near-term top. The hope is that it finishes the year like it did in 2017, right? Something like this, right? That is the hope. And if it does do that, it's going to go higher. So it's likely going to go higher. We don't know for sure, but to me, it looks like it'll go higher, just like it did here. Now, will there be the same rejection in the early 2025? Well, we don't know yet. In theory, this market should have a lot to run if Bitcoin is just broken out above its all-time highs, and the alt season, in theory, is just starting. So, things are looking bright for XRP, to be honest. And I'm only guessing here that they're not going to completely dump it off like they did here. Like if you look at these two yearly candles, because there's only 3 weeks left in this candle, so that works in XRP's favor. There's only 3 weeks left, right? That's one. The second part is the ETF news. there is only spot ETFs launched recently, which may mean that institutions are going to hold over Christmas. Now, will there be some profit taken? I would think so. But because there's only 3 weeks left in the ETF listing, I would have to guess, like it is only a guess, we don't know for sure, but that there can be more upside later on XRP. Again, it's just an educated guess by putting everything together. It's an interesting thing here. There's no volume. Oh, there's Bitstamp. Sorry, yeah, terrible volume. Let's just look at a different chart. I want to see the volume here. So okay. Well, that's better volume. At least it's on par here. Now, if you want to see obviously what happened here, you can see that. Well, in the sentiment tool, there was all these bears, but there was no bears left. There was no sellers left here because all of these started flipping green, and there was all the bulls just come into the market right down here on the lows, which kind of meant that the buyers, when there's not many sellers and when there's not too much bearish sentiment, this is when the buyers can take over. And if there's not many sellers on the market or not many bears in theory, well, then the prices can freely kind of move to the upside, and that's what we're seeing. So, like, the thing is, I mean, $150 billion market cap. I am concerned on that market cap. That's the truth. This is the crypto cap. Yeah, so I'm definitely concerned on that. Like, if that was me, I would definitely be interested in taking some profits. How big a market cap can this go to? God, who knows? I mean, JP Morgan, the most powerful bank on the planet, is sitting up here at 600 billion. I can't get it on the chart there. Just over 600, 630. So JP Morgan is sitting up here. Of course, it's a long way away. This does look like a strong chart. I mean, just from a chart perspective, I mean, there's fundamentals there as well in the fact that the ETF is trying to get launched. Will it get approved? Is it a buy the rumor now and sell the event when or if the ETF gets launched? I mean, I see no reason for an ETF on XRP, but I honestly could be completely wrong on that. I also see no reason for a SOL ETF, but they're applying for that as well. That's just my thoughts. Yeah. I mean, in my view, I still see XRP as a bit of a shitcoin. Granted, it is fantastic for transactions. It's Ripple that is the business behind it all. It's not really it's not really XRP. XRP is just a coin. Sol, I've got my gripes with. Because of all the meme coins. I think people should be trying to build real quality stuff instead of focusing on all these meme coins. But meme coins and XRP are both fantastic for the market in the fact that they bring eyes to the market. They bring the public. They bring capital into the market, and that's obviously very important. There needs to be some sort of onboarding thing, and the XRP is doing a great job of that right now. I've made many videos in the past about this pattern, that it was the same as Bitcoin structure, and XRP won't break out until it got here. And I made videos years ago about this here. So it's nice to see it break out now. It's a tricky one to call. Like, look at this candle; it's ridiculous. But again, look at this pattern. It's pretty flawless in the fact. As soon as you take out the highs of a previous candle like this into this sort of area here, God, it's right there at 40. Well, it's 41 billion on this. That was a buy right there as you're breaking that. I don't think anybody guessed it would do this straight away. So yeah, the guess is because of the ETF that it may hold into New Year. But for me, I'd have to advise taking some profits. That's what I would do. I'm not advising anything because this could continue to moon. I really have no idea. I mean, it's institutions pushing this on this volume, but when you get large volume like this, quite often you can get a candle going above it. You can get somewhere to sell above it. Like, so when you get large volume, well, where do you take profits or where do you sell? Well, sometimes above the volume, right? So I don't know how far above the volume. Nobody knows yet, but if you, as you said in your video, in your message, if you're looking to gamble on it, till the end, yeah, I mean, there is a chance that this could go higher than this candle, as long as this candle holds up into the end of the year. That's the big question. There's 3 weeks left. If this candle holds up, well, then it'll likely go higher. What's extremely interesting, if you go to the monthly chart, the volume is up here, right? This volume is up here. One other thing we can kind of look at, when there's been these large candles, large candle on a 9 week, right? It seems to hold up into the end of the 9 week, right? This one didn't, and it dumped, right? So if it does the same as this, well, you're better off selling now. If it does the same as this, well, you're better off waiting. So it's kind of a 50-50 coin toss, but this volume is crazy interesting. This is the ETF volume. You know, does somebody know something we don't? But what I will say here is this volume here ended up dumping the market. This is the second largest volume we've ever had, the buy volume, and it ended up selling off and we dumped. So yeah, I mean, if it was me, I would probably be taking profits. You know, I'm kind of trained in a way. Well, you know, you want to catch the meat of the move. If you catch this, you're doing well. You don't need to catch this. But I listen, I agree with you. It's very interesting that it's running at the beginning. At least we think it's the beginning. Like, what if this is the end? What if next year this all crashes again? I don't think that that's the case, but I'm just saying. XRP always runs at the end. So yeah, here's the worry. Like, you're here on a weekly chart. Look at this weekly candle here, and you have one here as well. Like, the weekly candle sells off. There's 5 days left. What if it continues to sell off, and then you get this huge dump down next week? That is the worry, you know, to be truthful. XRP always sells off. Always sells off. Is this time different because of the ETF? The market cap, as we talked about, is now larger than it was back in 2017-18. You know, this is a new all-time high for the market cap. You know, mate, obviously I'm just looking through everything, to see if I can spot anything, but you know, nobody knows for sure. Only these institutions will probably know when they're going to dump. You know, my guess is that this can go higher into a new year. My guess is that this is not the ultimate top, only because of what we talked about earlier. 3 weeks left on the year, a good strong yearly candle, and the ETF news will likely not come out before the end of the year. Of course, we know Sol is holding up well as well. Their ETF was listed, I don't know the date, but that may be something that you could, like, it was in here somewhere, right? The Sol ETF was listed in here somewhere, and that managed to hold up. But of course, Sol is a little bit different than XRP. Like, you know, I don't have the answer, but you know, this is the only time in history that XRP has ever consolidated and went higher, basically. You know, so is this going to go into multi week and month consolidation, you know, before getting that next leg? Sol done that for the last 6 months. Does XRP need to do that again, you know, before it gets the final blow off top? You know, that's a real possibility. It's also a scary one, because XRP usually always just rolls over again. But it would be fantastic if the entire market was going to consolidate. You know, all of these meme coins and all consolidate like this, and then we went into a real alt season kind of next year sometime, as a lot of these altcoins still continue to trickle higher and higher and higher over the year. Now, that would be fantastic and ideal for the market. So anyway, mate, yeah, long video here. You know, I don't have the answer. If I was to guess, I would suggest, because we're so strong going into the end of the year, that this could go higher next year. But for me, I would, if it was me personally, I would be taking some profits here and maybe letting another half of the bag run or something like that. But if you're willing to take the gamble, you know, to see next year, then let's hope there is no ETF news into the end of the year. Anyway, mate, yeah, sorry for a long video, but I hope you're well, and good luck with it.